Hello, everybody. To honor time, I am going to go ahead and start. We will have other people joining us. Just to let you know, we have had some technical difficulties with our website. So some people who were going to join tonight to support might not be able to join. So if that happens, we definitely will get your questions, get your answers, and send back out. With that said, I want to say welcome. I want you to know that we visited the 5th grade classrooms today through Teams. We were able to talk to your 5th graders and answer many of their questions. We brought a panel of 6th graders who answered questions, and there are lots of fun questions around sports, around is the food good, are the teachers nice? So it was really nice to be able to put Hudtloff students in front of your students to answer those questions. I want to begin tonight by letting you know that Hudtloff Middle School is a Title I school. Title I Part A is a federal program designed to provide all children significant opportunities to receive fair, equitable, and high-quality education, and to close the educational achievement gap. So with our Title I funds for next year, we have hired 2 new teachers. One will be for English and writing intervention, and the other one will be for math intervention to support our students who have those gaps in education. I'm going to do some introductions and welcomes, and I hope that the people I introduce are able to either turn on the camera and say hi, unmute and say hi, and if not, it's those technical difficulties. So I'm going to start. I'm Miss Adams. I'm the extremely proud principal here at Hudtloff Middle School. I'm ending my 6th year here and look very forward to starting my 7th year. Assistant Principal.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to have you all joining us tonight. I'm the Assistant Principal. My name is Angie Laws. I think this is my 14th year in the district. In my 3rd year at Hudtloff, and knock on wood, my first full year, September to June, with our building full of kids and staff.
Oh, Dean of Students, Mr. Carpenter.
Hello, everybody. I'm one of the people that was having some technical difficulties, but that might be a good thing. I've been having a bad hair day, but I'm the Dean of Students. I'm waving at the camera, even though you can't see me. Happy to be here and answer some questions.
And we have one of our guidance counselors, Miss Ryrie. Again, I don't know if we're having technical difficulties. Our other guidance counselor, Miss Hughes, she also might be having technical difficulties.
Hello, I'm Sandra Hughes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. I don't have access to the camera, but I am here and I'm here to answer all of your questions.
Thank you, Miss Hughes. And our family involvement coordinator.
Are you able to hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're glad to have you guys join us. I'm Ruby, the new family coordinator, and I'm excited to be joining you guys today.
So a couple more introductions. One of the differences between elementary and middle school and high school is that some of the things that you would go to the office secretary for to take care of over at the elementary, here at middle school, we have lots of secretaries who do lots of different things. So office manager is Miss Weber. She helps me with the budget, run the school, pay the bills. Office secretary, Miss Trotman. She's our meet and greeter in the morning, always has a big smile. And she's the one that when you call, she'll answer the phone and help figure those things out for you. Then we have our attendance clerk who will help you with your students' excused attendance, and that's Miss Elefeo. Student accounts, Miss Woodruff, that's where you're going to pay for your fees, fines, ASB card, buy your yearbook. Also, she does sports eligibility, so we'll talk about that in a moment. And then in our guidance office is Miss Kassman. So like I said, there's multiple people to assist you. So if they say just a minute, I have to connect you to someone, they're not passing it off. They are actually getting you to the right person. So here's how tonight will work. We're going to go through our presentation. And as questions come up, please put your questions in the chat box. Tonight, I have our admin team and counselors to answer your questions. I have Miss Ruby here. So if you're a Spanish speaker, please feel free to put your question in the chat. Miss Ruby will answer you back in your home language. So please feel free to put your questions in. I noticed some people had their hands up. Please transfer those questions into the chat. Thank you. And I personally can't see the chat right now because I'm in webinar mode and I can't even see myself. So want to talk a little bit about the Hudtloff Middle School experience. What's different about middle school from elementary? So we at Hudtloff Middle School, we start our day at 9 a.m. and we end at 3:30. We have 6 periods, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Our classes are 56 minutes long, and we have 4-minute passings in between each classes. On late start Wednesdays, we have a connections class that the students take, and it's where they do their relationship building, their social emotional, and the Washington State curriculum. On that day, they will have 7 different teachers. Our students have 30 minutes for lunch. They go to the lunchroom. There's a variety of food, and that's what the students asked. If the food was good, the 6th graders said, yes, we have some good food. Students eat for about 15 minutes, and then if they'd like, and if the weather's good, our students go out because we want them to have that social time outside, that get up and run time outside. We have a basketball court. We have a track they can walk. There's flag football going on. There's tag. And then we have kids that just sit in the grass and enjoy talking to each other. Middle school schedule looks like the following. So I'm going to focus on 6th grade. All students will take English language arts 6, math 6, science 6, social studies. All students will take 1 semester of PE. The other semester will be an elective, and then they'll have an elective. So that's a typical 6th grade schedule. Middle school courses. Students will have 3 years of the following: that English language arts, math, science, social studies, and 3 semesters of physical education. Student electives. You notice your students brought home papers that have the descriptor of all the electives as well as signing up for their electives. In the descriptors, you will see there's $ next to each one, which tells you that this elective comes with some cost. Because we are a Title I school, all electives will be free. There will be a fee for one class, and when I get to that class, I will let you know which one. We have our CTE classes, Applied Tech, which is a semester, Info Tech, a semester, Art is a semester, Drama, a semester, Music Appreciation, a semester, Health, semester, Leadership, semester, Intro to World Cultures. This is a semester class, and it's also a bridge to high school class. Band is a year long. Band comes with a fee because students will need to do a band rental. So they will have to pay something for band. We also have choir, and choir is a year long. Hudtloff registration. Each year, students are asked to fill out an elective class request, which is called registration. We really want our students to think about their choice. They will be in these classes for the 2022-23 school year. So we really want to make sure that they've looked at the descriptors and they really find a class they're interested in. Allowing our students to choose their own electives gives our students voice and it gives them choice. So please let them look through and definitely choose what their electives is. Sorry, I'm getting text messages. I'm trying to see if it's something to do with the presentation. So if it is, Angie or Ryan, please feel free to unmute and tell me. I'm not able to get to my phone and do this at the same time.
I don't think the chat is enabled.
Okay, so.
And I'm not sure how to do that in webinar.
Yeah, okay. So let's problem solve that out.
Do we have contact information on a slide? Because they can always email us.
I can definitely put up contact information so that we can get information from parents. And this webinar was set up for me. I guess I thought that was taken care of. But we definitely will get you information to send us emails, and we'll definitely get you your answers if it's not answered within this webinar. Sixth grade registration forms. If you look at your student's form, we want them to choose. Definitely, they will have those 3 elective classes, 1 first semester, 2 second semester. We want them to choose an extra one just in case they're not able to get the electives that they want. That way, they're not saying, you know, I didn't want this class because they only wrote down 3 or they only put down 2. So it's really important that students fill out the whole form. They're going to fill out that form. They're going to bring it back to their 5th grade teacher, and then the 5th grade teacher is going to send it to us. The other way that we have to register is, I was going to put the link in the chat box, but I won't do that. I'm actually going to get district to email you the link to go in and fill out a forms registration. So you can do both. You can send the form to the 5th grade teacher and then wait for that link. Because what we would do with your form is we would manually put it in. So that link will allow you to do what we were going to do. I am going to ask Ms. Laws or Mr. Carpenter to talk about programs at Hudtloff Middle School so that it's not just my voice you're hearing.
Okay, I'll go ahead and jump in if you can move to the next slide. So when we talk about programs, we're talking about so it's different than courses or different than clubs and athletics. So these are during the academic day and they're funded separately. So we have special education students, as do all public schools. And we have a range of kids in our special education program. We have some kids who are self-contained and some kids who are mainstreamed. We're really working toward a full inclusion model. The research shows that that's really the best model for all kids, quite honestly. And so we've moved away from special education kids only in resource classes, and now we're using a co-teach model, which staff and students seem to enjoy. We also have a gifted and honors program that is coordinated through the teaching and learning and then through compensatory programs actually. And so there's a process for students to qualify for the actual gifted designation. That information is available on the district website. And then honors classes are based right now on students' exemplary performance on the SBA or on MAP testing. but the district is in discussions about modifying those eligibility requirements to improve equity, to access to and equity. We also have multi-language learners. Typically, folks think of these as native Spanish-speaking students, but students in our school speak, I believe, 12 different non-English languages as their first language. And that's really growing all the time. It makes our environment much richer and much more interesting. And the more students that you have in a school that speak a non-English language fluently, the more they'll talk to each other in that language, which is really fun to listen to. And then we also have LAP and Title I intervention classes. Those are really designed to provide additional support, instruction in a different way to try and accelerate students up to that same academic level as their peers.
Let me advance you.
Please, I want to listen to this.
So what I've been doing, because we don't have chat, I'm unmuting everybody. So if you, or I'm giving you an opportunity to speak at the end. So check to see if you're muted, go ahead and mute yourself. And then at the end, we will have time. I'll give everyone access to talk, and then you can ask your questions and I'll unshare so we can see everyone. So we'll do that. So if you want to check to make sure that you're muted, while I gave you guys the opportunity to talk. So I just want to let everyone know that I was taking care of that. All right, with that said, should have given you advance notice.
Do you want me to do this section?
Mr. Carpenter, you want to do the get involved?
Yeah, I'd love to. So we have two main ways for students to get extracurricular activities at Hudtloff. They're not the only ways, but kind of the ways that majority of students, and that's our after-school clubs and sports. After school clubs is run through what we call our Hurricane Center, and we partner with the YMCA. We have 2 full-time staff members from the YMCA to run these clubs. They are Monday through Thursday, 3:30 to 5:15. Multiple clubs, usually 2 or 3 on each day. So a student doesn't have to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They can look at the list of options and decide, oh, I really like what's being offered on Mondays and Wednesdays, and just attend those days. Or if they love doing it, they can do all days as well. Some examples of clubs that are occurring right now. We have an art club. We have a cooking club, which is very popular because they make a lot of dessert dishes. We have an anime club, a writing club. There is tutoring provided at these. If a student wants to get some extra tutoring help, they can do that for about the first 45 minutes, I believe, and then go join the club after that. They're provided a snack / mini meal at the start of it to help them get through that 5:15 time. And then there is a bus provided for students that need it at 5:15 at the end. Sign-ups are super easy. We have forms in our office that students can access, and then the YMCA members walk around through lunch trying to get kids to sign up, and they provide forms. That just requires the parent signature saying that you know that they're going to clubs and that they are allowed to.
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
I realize that because you are home, you're not translating in Spanish. So as much as I'd like you to be part of this, I'm going to read back over this slide and then continue on so that all of our families will have access, okay?
I understand that.
All right, thank you. Just to recap, Hurricane Center is partnered with the YMCA. We're Monday through Thursday, 3:30 to 5:15, multiple clubs, tutoring, meals served, and transportation provided. We have YMCA directors in our building. They'll be with us all of next year. Forms are in the office. We have to sign up, make sure we have emergency contact numbers. And we also need to make sure that parents have a signature so they know where their students are. We partner on Mondays with the Asian Pacific Culture Center. They are here again from 3:30 to 5:15, multiple clubs, served meals, transportation provided. Next year, they're looking at bringing in some theater and dance, trying to bring in more culture into our buildings to support our students. We have sports in our building. This was a big question for our students today. A lot of fifth graders had questions. So I'm going to talk through this. I'm going to leave it up for a little while. And then at the end, I'm sure we have more questions around sports. To participate in sports, students need to do online registration, and they need to do it early, because what we're going to ask is for a physical. All students have to have a physical on file for the year. If they're in multiple sports, that same physical will be able to transfer to the multiple sports. It's all done online. So if you are having difficulty with doing it online, we do have a computer available to families in the main office, and we can support you with that. The cutoff date for students to be cleared is there's a definite cutoff date because students have to have 10 practices before they can participate in a match or a meet or whatever sports it is. So we have 4 seasons. In the fall, we have co-ed cross country. Football is only for 7th and 8th graders. No 6th graders can be in football. We have boys soccer, and we have fast pitch, girls fast pitch. Winter 1, we have girls basketball and co-ed wrestling. Winter 2, we have boys basketball, not girls basketball. And oh, that was just put down twice. We have boys basketball and we have girls soccer. So let me repeat that. Boys basketball, girls soccer. And then in the spring, we have co-ed track, we have volleyball, and we have co-ed tennis, and we have boys baseball. So 4 seasons, must register online. There has to be a physical on file. If your student has any kind of a medical concern, we need to know that, like if they carry an EpiPen, have an inhaler, and that's all part of that registration packet. Families, get involved. We need you. We need you. We love partnering with our families. Miss Laws and I, we have a family connections council that we meet once a month. We'd really like to grow it. We really want to see our parents. We want to partner with our parents, talk about what's going on here at school, but also get feedback from you so that we can improve our practice. We don't have PTSA right now. When COVID happened, our PTSA ended. We'd really like to start up our PTSA. So if you are interested and you want to be part of PTSA, please let us know. Like I said, we'll give you our contact number. Volunteer. You know, volunteers shut down because of COVID. We want to bring families back into the building to help volunteer. You know, we can get out a list of things that we need when we have PTSA. They do a lot of volunteering as well. And attend sporting events. If your students in sports, join. If not, just come out and watch the kids and support your kids' school with watching sporting events. And definitely come to our back to school nights, come to our student-led conferences. Whenever we open our doors, and I'm hoping it's soon, please come. We miss seeing our families. Middle school success. Ms. Laws, you want to speak to this?
Definitely. Can you move to the next slide? I'm trying to see if I'm translating. But it doesn't look like I'm translating.
You should be translating.
Okay, well, I'll give it a try and then you have to watch.
Okay, I'll watch, and if not, I'll jump in.
Okay, so middle school, I don't
You are
actually-
not translating.
Okay,
All right. Oh,
no, that's you.
all right, I'll pick it up. Thank you. The goal is, the goal from pre-K to 12th grade is the same goal. It is on time high school graduation. Finish strong. And every year that school year is a building block to get to high school graduation. When students get to middle school, they tend to forget that building block. A lot of things are happening in middle schoolers' world, their life, their everything. And so that constant reminder that what we're doing is to bridge over to high school, that you land in a great, strong place, and that you graduate on time graduation. So what does it take to be successful in middle school? Be on time, prepared for classes, engage in the learning, ask questions, be organized with time, assignments, and materials. Ms. Laws and I cannot tell you, well, we probably don't have to tell you, the backpacks are just full of paper assignments that should have been turned in weeks ago. So organizing that backpack, those materials will lead to success. Get involved in school, sports, and after-school clubs. Personal characteristics to support middle school success. Do your best learning every day. Be responsible, be respectful, kind, and support. Set high expectations for yourself and be unstoppable. Just, go out for sports, go out for clubs. Just really focus on yourself, be unstoppable, be successful. Clover Park School District has built-in supports within our building. We have Greater Lakes mental health care in our building about 4 days a week. This is to take care of our students' social and emotional health. It is outside counselors that come in and contract with our building and our families. Students get permission from their families to join this. Students are, because it's here at school, parents don't have to leave work, take their student to an appointment. The appointment's here at school. It's private, it's discreet. It's down in the guidance office. So students leave a class, they go to their mental health meeting, and then they get back to class. So that their social emotional is taken care of and their academic needs. We have free and reduced price program or free lunch program. Even though we are Title I school and all students will eat for free next year, this really is important to fill out to find out if you apply. To apply, you would get discounts for the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club. There's other community benefits. By signing up, it also gives our school, our district, some federal dollars that help us in programming, such like after-school programs, more tutoring. We put the money back into the schools in order to support kids. Also, It helps if you want to play sports, and with sports, you have to have an ASB card. If you are free and reduced lunch, then that fee is waived for families, so there's not the hardship. During the pandemic, and I have to check if this still applies, but if you qualified for free and reduced lunch, then the families, the students were able to get electronic benefit cards that they could use for food purchases. And that came through the Social and Health Services Department. If you have any questions about our free and reduced program, please visit our website, go to the Nutrition Center. There's applications in English and Spanish. And to apply for the next year, you'll start noticing that at the end of this year, they start applying for next year. So please check into it to find out if you qualify. Want to talk about August Jumpstart? We're partnering with the YMCA. The Hurricane Jumpstart is helps with the transition from elementary to middle school. It's August 8 through 9. It's a half-day program from 8:45 to 12:45. Transportation is provided. If your student's on a waiver, then parents will have to drop off and pick up. Lunch is provided. Ms. Laws oversees this with other staff members from Hudtloff Middle School. This is an opportunity for incoming sixth graders to see the school, to meet other sixth graders, to meet some students, get to know the building before there's a lot of kids in the building, and just really take care of some of those nerves that they may have. Thank you for attending. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to unmute people. We have about 20 minutes where we can take some questions. We're going to give you our how to get in touch with us, to send us emails so that we can actually, let me stop sharing. Oh my gosh, there's everybody. So cool. I was hidden behind the PowerPoint for so long. So I am going to start unmuting people, or start allowing people to unmute themselves. So give me a moment. And Ms. Laws, if someone raises their hand and has a question, can you take care of that while I start opening up the floor to people?
I'll jump in here. Lisa, I see your hands up.
Yes, hi. I was curious to know if you had an on-site nurse, because my son just recently became a diabetic and he's going to be on the pump and he's on the Dexcom and everything. But I was just curious if you had an on-site nurse that will work with him on that.
Yes, we do. We have a nurse trained in that. We have students on a similar system.
Okay.
And we'll be every day we'll be seen by a nurse.
Okay, can he still do sports?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's all
Yes.
I wanted to know. Thank you so much.
The nurse trains the coaches on how to attend to that. And
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
I see Javante, your hands up.
Yes, I have a question regarding the resource room. My son has an IEP. Is there a way that we could possibly come in and speak with the resource department and kind of get more information as far as how things work there? And if, I want to make sure that he has his needs met.
So before the transition happens, the elementaries reach up to the middle schools and they talk through all special ed students. And then there is a meeting, kind of a passing over the student to us meeting. And then we've had special ed families want to come in and tour the building and take care of those nerves. So yes, we will take care of those.
So they'll contact all the IEP students personally.
Yes. Mhm.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Do you guys have book fairs?
We do have book fairs. We haven't had it for a while because of COVID, but I love the Scholastic Book Fair twice a year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
I have a, go ahead, sir, you can go first.
Nope, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a question. I was told that because my daughter does professional gymnastics 3 days a week, that she can be exempt for PE because that will count as PE because she physically does 3 days a week, about 4 hours a day practice, and then she competes at different competitions. Now, what do you need if that is true so she can be exempt for PE?
She'd fill out a waiver in the guidance office.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
I just have a quick question regarding the bus routes because I currently moved from the zip code 98444 to 98408. And I was wondering if we are still within the school district, or would I have to change?
So what will happen, sorry, my lights went off. What will happen is the district sends a list to the schools to tell us if someone has moved out of our area. And then we contact the families and ask them to fill out a waiver.
Okay, so would I have, because I haven't been able to update the address with the school, so they still have my old address.
So update it with your elementary and that will help us. And then if Hudtloff is where you want to go, then ask the elementary to show you how to do the waiver process to come to Hudtloff.
Okay, but will there be the bus routes? Will we have?
What will happen is the closer we get to the start of the school year, the transportation takes all of the student addresses and they start putting their routes together. Once they put their routes together, transportation will communicate out to families the bus routes, the pickup times and the drop off times and where that bus stop is.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mexico. Rule requires migrants to stay in Mexico while their U.S. is
Scott, did you have a question?
separate legal fights brewing over the president's decision to end the pandemic rule known as
Yes,
Title.
I was curious about foreign language classes. I didn't see those on the paperwork that my daughter brought home today.
Hudtloff does not have foreign language currently in our building.
Okay. And then the second question, another part to that is with the electives, she selected choir, which is a year-long, correct?
Correct.
So there's only one elective per day, correct? Is that what I understand?
No, if first semester she has PE and then that year long, then
Okay.
second semester she can choose another elective and that year long.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
I have a question, if it's okay.
Yes.
My question is for students that are wanting to play sports for extracurricular activities, is there a limit to the amount they can play?
So they can pick one sport per season. Just practice requirements prevent from playing multiple sports in a season, but
Okay.
we have 4 different seasons and they could play a sport in all 4 seasons.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question about the sports. I noticed that you guys didn't have girls soccer.
We do. That was incorrect on the slide.
Okay. Okay,
Um,
so it's the girls soccer on winter 1 or winter 2?
Winter 2,
Okay,
So-
and then
January through March-ish.
okay, and then it's the girls basketball winter 1, correct?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to get those situated. And then my second question to that is, how can we set our kids up for sports?
So the first most important thing is making sure there's an up-to-date physical. The rules changed during COVID. It's 2 years now, right, Ms. Adams?
Joining us now from board, the guy about Keystone State politics, John.
I believe it has to be within 2 years. And then secondly, there's a parent consent form that just goes over the health risks inherent to that sport. And then just making sure that paperwork's on time. There's an online website for that. We have a secretary to support parents in filling out that paperwork. So if you're not understanding, and you can come into the building and get that completed. Other than that, that's about it.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep.
I have a question. When are the waivers due to transfer from one middle school to the other, basically?
I would say the district has been very lenient on the waivers. I definitely would make sure that the process is started before mid-May. We are still looking at waivers as we get to the end of the school year. But if the school starts to fill up, then what will happen is students on waivers will go on a wait list. And then you might not find out till right before school starts whether or not you can get in. So the sooner the better.
So if I start on Friday going to Claudia Thomas and filling it out, because it has to go to the school that you are actually in District 4, right? To go over to the Hudtloff. So if I submit it by this Friday, I should be fine.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
I'm interested to know what kind of technology instruction the students will receive, and if they have any kind of access or introduction to coding skills.
I'll jump in and take that question. We have a pretty robust CTE program in the district. And so at the middle school, what we try and do is align their CTE courses, but we always think of them as tech courses, with the pathways that they can participate in at the high school. And so, and in addition to that, our science curriculum is really shifted to be very project-based. And so the science curriculum took some of the CTE units for design and modeling. So the kids get a lot of bridge building and model building and then testing. And so it's very much hands-on. And then we do have a discovering computer class that's sort of an introduction to coding, and then we're going to add kind of a second year to that program so that kids will continue to be able to just build those skills. And then we have another tech class, and Cindy will have to help me out. I sometimes I mix up Bobby and Laura's curriculum. We also, next year, the state is looking at a financial literacy curriculum that would be very beneficial for middle school kids, but that's not so much the tech and coding side.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you.
I'm going to piggyback off you, Ms. Laws. This is the 4th middle school I've worked at, and Hudtloff has the best teachers in the CTE department. Usually it's people who just know tech, but might not have the teaching side of it. At Hudtloff, it's both they know their tech, but they also are great teachers as well. So when you're picking out your electives and you're not sure, I think the tech ones are a great idea.
And in one of those tech classes with the financial literacy class, we are going to have a middle school DECA for next year. And the DECA students will partner with our one of our SPED inclusion classes, our FT classes, so that our special ed students will help with inventory and learning some skills that way. So we're really excited to bring that inclusionary classroom to both our FT students and our CTE students.
I have a question. If your student was virtually learning this school year, how do we go about getting the paperwork that the students inside the building got?
But from the middle school or from the elementary?
You mentioned earlier that like the registration for classes, the 5th grade students got paperwork that was taken home today.
Okay, I will connect with the assistant principals of elementary and ask them to mail out the information to the virtual families so that you have the same information.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good question. Thank you for letting us know there's that gap.
I have a question. Is there student body officers?
There is. We have an ASB officers in our building. They wait and do elections for 6th graders until you get here. So elections happen in about October. They plan our assemblies. They do our announcements. They actually are the ones who okay budgets when it comes to sports uniforms and things like that. They work with the administrators to work on the culture and climate of our school. One of our themes this year is growing a community of care. They do our spirit days. We've had multiple spirit days this year. They theme out the weeks. We had kindness week. We had legacy week. We had Earth Day week. We're getting ready to do awareness week. Every teacher is going to choose a cause and decorate their door, and students will spend 1 week learning about the different causes that our staff members are passionate about. Students are going to have a voice wall where they get to put up their concerns, their passions, and then they're going to have a lunch with table tents and find a table with like people who either want to talk about their cause or their passions, or find a new table and learn something new. So ASB is always trying to find ways to get students involved in the school, but learn more about things that are happening globally, like with Earth Day. So yes, we have ASB. I don't know if you wanted to know all that information, but there you go.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Will the sports teams play their grade level or the grade higher than them?
So there's 3 different level teams for most of the sports, a C team, a JV team, and a varsity team. Varsity will play varsity of other middle schools, JV, other JV, C team. It's not 100%, but 6th graders make up most of the C team. There are some 6th graders that are skilled enough to move up higher, but 80-90% of the C teams are made up of 6th graders. JV varsity is more of a mix of 7th and 8th, depending on the skill levels.
And do you require to be COVID vaccinated?
The students and the student athletes, no.
No.
Just the staff.
All right.
Real quick, on a different subject, on the subject where they go and visit school on August 8th and the 9th, do they have to be a member of the YMCA, or can anybody go?
So you were cutting in and out. I think you said on the Jumpstart days 8 and 9, is it just for 6th graders or can anybody go?
No, I think she said if you had to be YMCA members or Like who's allowed to?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's for all incoming sixth graders. YMCA is just going to help us out. You don't have to be a member of the YMCA. We'd love to see the students for the 2 days.
I have a quick question. I wasn't able to join.
Okay,
the
and
first
then
part of the
my next
meeting.
question was,
Oh,
Courtney, I think you were asking a question, but you're muted.
oh, sorry. I thought she was asking another one. I wasn't able to be a part of the first part of the meeting. Are you going to send out the slideshow, or how do I have access to that?
So I believe it's automatically taped. Someone set up this webinar. Yep, there it is. It's automatically taped. So what we'll do is we can post it to the website, and you can get it there to see the full thing. We're also going to put our contact information. We're going to give it to you soon. So if you have questions, we will answer it. And if you want my PowerPoint, I can send it to you directly.
Okay,
So
perfect. Thank you.
a variety of ways to get the information.
How do you guys handle bullying?
That is a great question. We do a lot of front loading at the beginning of the year, where our first 4 days is about relationship, getting to know each other, getting to know our differences or similarities. We're going to have September is going to be Culture Month, where we not only learn more about our cultures and our family culture, we're going to learn about other students and staff's culture. We teach tolerance. On that occasion that we do have bullying, we encourage people to tell us, not be bystanders, but be upstanders. We also have what's called see something, say something. Once staff are made aware of it, we work with the student who is having the negative behaviors that are bullying. We work with them and their family to point out the negative and the harm that student is causing other students. And our goal is to turn around that behavior. Then we practice restorative practices here. So we like to bring the student who created the harm to the student that was harmed with both consent, and really talk out that experience and how that student felt. Because the goal is, if someone is doing something to harm someone, then we want them to recognize it and have the person say, that was hurtful. And the goal is to not do it again. So that's how we front load it, we deal with it, and then we really bring people back together to heal the community.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I am in the process of getting a 504 plan in place for my child. We are hoping to get it in place before the end of the school year. If that is put in place, because I know evaluations are every so often, if that does get in place and he brings it with him to middle school, we are also working on an educational evaluation, a full educational evaluation, to see if there are any learning disabilities that have not been noticed. So we can kind of see if we need to go from a 504 to an IEP, because currently he doesn't qualify for an IEP based on his passing tests, benchmark tests and stuff. What is your process time, if there should be any modifications that need to be made, or if he should have to go from a 504 to an IEP evaluation when he gets?
Those are all pretty individual. And so what would happen is, when students come in with 504s, counselors reach out, they set meetings up, because a elementary 504 is going to look much different than a middle school 504. So a council will reach out and put a timeline together for you. So I see 3 hands up. I'm not sure who they're connected to, 4 hands. We have about 5 minutes. We're going to take your questions, and then we want to have opportunities to put up our to give you our contact information with any other questions. Some of your questions might be individual to you, so you might not want to say them out loud to the crowd. So with that said, Mr. Carpenter, can you see the hands that are up, or do I need to change my page?
Well, some of the hands have shared. I think they just remained up, but David, you just now put your hand up. Did you have a question?
Yeah, is there any activities in the school?
So we have, what do you do by activities? Can you share more what you mean?
Do you guys have soccer?
Yes, that's one of the sports that we have. PE has lots of different sports, and then during lunchtime you have 15 minutes of outside play, and some students choose to play football, some choose to play basketball, some choose to play soccer as well.
All right, thank you.
Frinton, I
Yes.
saw your hand just go up.
Yeah. One more question. So I'm wondering if you're going to have a transcript to this meeting in case there's a question that I might have missed or something.
Yes, we can do that. We can get out that information to you. I'm not sure how timely that will happen, but we'll give you our contact information so that you can have a more timely response to your questions. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I did ask a question earlier, but I do have one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
As far as volunteering in the PTSA, do we contact, is it Ms. Ramos Ramirez for that, or?
You can, yes.
Okay, that's the contact. And then is volunteering dependent on the presence of a, I guess, or the chartering? I don't know if it has to be restarted or if it's kind of just picking up where it had been left off before, but is it dependent upon a PTSA?
No, I mean, we have definitely PTSA does a lot of the volunteering at their activities. But we have we have the student store, we have opportunities to come in and help teachers. Ms. Laws was talking about that switchover between regular science and then the more CTE project. And there's a lot of things that they need that could be, I'm going to come get these kits, take it home, and then put them together for teachers and then bring them back. I mean, we had a science teacher who had to make bath bombs because that was part of the curriculum. So she spent 2 days making bath bombs, hundreds of bath bombs. And then we found out about it and we were like, well, I bet you we could find family volunteers who wouldn't mind giving a couple hours to make 50 of them. And if we get 10 teachers or 10 parents to do it. So, there's those kind of opportunities too. And then like with coaching events or sporting events, there's opportunities to support and things like that. We do have to have our volunteers cleared, background checks and that. So, but yeah, and as we come off of COVID, we have to relearn how to make that happen again. We've been closed for so long that it's like we have to remember what we used to do and then improve it and bring more families in. So working with families to figure that out is one of our things, like having a meeting to say, what does volunteering look like to you? And then what are our needs? And then, put them together. But we're missing our parents, we're missing our families.
Okay, well, thank you. We're very interested in volunteering and helping.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I have a two-part question and they kind of relate to each other.
Okay.
One being, are devices allowed at school? Like cell phones or one of these hand game devices?
Well, you know, the hand game devices, a lot of them are on the cell phones. What we tell our families is the school district has electronic policy, and it is, we discourage them from coming. One, if they're broken or taken, we're not in any obligation to stop what we're doing to track down a lost cell phone, which sounds really cold, but you know, we not going to stop and go, everyone stop, we're looking for the cell phone. They have to be off during academic times, so kids can have them on in the morning, at lunch and after school. When a student does bring a cell phone, we'd love the families to have conversations about proper use, and proper use isn't videotaping each other or a fight if it happens, or a teacher, you know. So with that cell phone comes responsibility and accountability. And so just students having that knowledge, and we do talk to our students, and our district does do some cell phone policy website education for families and kids, but just the responsibility of having it. And then if they break that responsibility, or they need help in learning how, then we want to partner with families to educate our students on how to do it correctly.
Okay. And then the other part I had was, other than lunch, which you said there's 15 minutes of eating and I guess 15 minutes of free time, is there any other free time or just open space time for the kids? Like in between classes, do they have time, or is that literally their only break throughout the whole day?
That is their break. They have the morning. Most kids get here, our doors open at 8:15. So a lot of kids are here by 8:30, 8:45. Then they go to class. They have 4 minutes. They go to class. You know, we ask our teachers to have engaging lessons, so they're not just sit and get, they're moving, they're project based, so that, you know, it's not like a full day sitting in front of a screen, but they're up and moving. But their duty free time is their lunch.
And that's just a total of 30 minutes.
Total of 30 minutes.
Okay. And then just to clarify, for devices, not really recommended, but if a child does bring one, they can use it during lunch or early in the morning or after school?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
When will we receive the email to register our kids to your school?
I need to, you can do it through the paper, because the kids brought home the paper one. But tomorrow I'm going to ask IT to push this out to the Hudtloff family, so you have it, because your students haven't been released to me yet, so I can't email you directly yet. So I'm going to have a third party do it. So my goal is tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I think I see Nicole, and I think that's the last question, and then we'll give our contact information.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had my hand up.
That's okay. That is absolutely okay. I'm going to give contact information for myself, but I will tell you where you can find the contact information first. If you go to the district website, there is a, you click on administrative contacts and you'll be able to find it there. And I'd like to tell you, I know exactly where it is, but it's there. And I think it's under About Us. But my contact information, if you want to take it down, I'll give it to you in a minute. I'll give everyone time to have something to write with. And if I forward your email to me, it's because someone else has a better answer. So my contact information is, and I'm going to spell it out, CAADAM S at Clover Park dot K12 dot WA dot US. So I have two A's, so it's C.A. Adams. Make sure you put that second A or it'll go to Connie and not Cindy.
And then it was cloverpark.k12.
.wa.us. So if you have a personal question around special education, I'll send it to our SPED chair department. If it's about registration, I'll send it to one of the counselors. So if I'm not answering you directly, I'm going to get you to the person that is the better contact for you. With that said, I want to say thank you for everyone to be here. I'm sorry about the chat, didn't set up the webinar. We will answer your questions. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. We will have an open house in August. Please volunteer, please join our parent meetings. The more we partner together, the better it is for our students. And you know we can't do it alone. I think I see a hand, give me a minute. Betty?
Hi, I had a question. What is the date that school starts?
The day school starts is Wednesday, August 31st.
Okay, thank you. It was the my school start.
Yes. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us.